Okay, so we're going to go through the sample test 1 review. So we want to make sure you have a copy of this and follow along as I go through. So start with number 1. Number 1, we got these 2 points are given to us. We want to find the distance from A to B. So of course we have to know what our distance formula is, and you'll have to know this formula for the test. So here it is. It's difference of the x's squared and difference of the y's squared. And so we're just going to go ahead and plug in the points. Now, you can label these any way you want. You can label this one x1, y1, or this one x1, y1. It doesn't matter. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go ahead and label these two x1, y1 and x2, y2. So now that I have those labeled, I can now just substitute those into the formula. And you want to simplify these square roots as much as possible. So if it comes out to an even number, that's fine. If not, then you want to try and break down the square root as much as possible. So for this one, this case, let's put in the numbers. x2 minus x1, we have 8 minus negative 4 squared. And then we have y2 minus y1, so we have 2 minus 3, negative 2 minus 3 squared. And we have everything substituted into the formula. Now we're just going to simplify it. This is going to be 12 squared. And then we get negative 5 inside squared. So the most important thing is just be careful, watch your signs when you're working these out. And then we're just going to simplify this. 12 squared plus 5 squared. 144 plus 25 is going to give you square root of 169. Then square root of 169, that happens to come out to a whole number. So now we know that the distance from A to B is 13. There's no units that we have to put on here because these are just coordinates. And so that would be your answer for part A. So let's take a look at next couple parts. So that part B. Okay, so you can pause it. Hopefully you have all that. Otherwise you can pause it and rewind it if you need to see that again. Okay, so for part B, they want the midpoint from A to B. So basically they want the midpoint of a line segment connecting A and B. So we want midpoint. Got to know the midpoint formula on the test also. So here is the midpoint formula. Basically it's the average of the x values and average of the y values. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so there's your midpoint formula. Again, we can just use the same labeling that we had before, and we can just substitute those in there. So we have x1 plus x2, we have negative 4 plus 8 over 2. And then we have 3 plus negative 2 over 2. And then we just got to simplify both of these once we substitute it in. So keep in mind that the distance formula has a minus sign in it, but these have a plus in it. Against the average value, the average of the x values, the average of the y values. Let's simplify this. You're going to get 4 over 2, that's 2. And then you have 3 minus 2 is 1, so we get 1/2. So 2 and 1/2 would be your answer for part B. That would be the point that's exactly halfway between A and B. Okay, so next we're going to do part C. And part C wants the slope of a line between those. So part C is slope from A to B. So, okay, so for slope, we have to know the slope formula, and that's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So any formulas I'm putting up on the board here as I'm going through this review, these are ones that you'll have to know for the test. You want to make sure you have these memorized. So this is your slope formula. Once again, use the same labeling that we had before. We're just going to substitute those in. So we're going to do negative 2 minus 3. So we do the change in y on top, and then we do change in the x's. So we're going to do negative 2. I'm sorry, no, the x's here. So we're going to do 8 minus negative 4. So on top you have negative 5, and on the bottom you have positive 12. Which means that your final answer should be negative 5/12.